This is the story of thoughts turning to things. And that's the story of magic that you're talking about. It's not magic. It's the natural process of thoughts turning to things. But to peoples who aren't knowing of the creative power of thoughts, then when thoughts are turning to things and the things are just appearing, they think it's magic. But it isn't magic. It's the natural consequence of holding yourself in steady alignment. So this is the best way for you to hear this. Let's say, for whatever reason, you've been blocking your connection with source. So you don't feel that magic. And we're talking about you and lots of other people. You don't feel that magic. In fact, crappy things are happening all the time. It not only feels not like magic, it feels like black magic. It feels like somebody's working against you. There isn't any of that, but it feels like that. So you decide that you are going to follow this simple offering that we are giving, and you decide you're going to, just for a little while, meditate every day for 15 or 20 minutes. So you manage to sit, you focus upon some sound in the room that requires focus. Esther likes to find the sound of the air conditioner because it's a steady sound, and just isolate it in her mind and just give it her undivided attention. And what she discovers is, by giving it her undivided attention, all other attention just falls by the wayside. And sometimes it takes a little while, because thoughts will come and she focuses on the air conditioner again, and other thoughts will come and she focuses again. So sometimes it takes a little bit, especially if she's really got herself ramped up on something. But eventually she can, usually within a few minutes, she can focus on the air conditioner and stop the other thoughts. And she knows she's done it because simultaneous to the releasing of other thoughts, she feels a physical sensation of relief. It's almost like the feeling that you get with the drugs. It's like a feeling of detachment. So as that feeling of detachment happens, then you're in a state of what we call connection with inner being. You're in the receiving mode now. Now, you've already put all of these things that you want in your vibrational reality, in your vortex of creation. So now you're detached from anything that's in the way, because when you stop thought, you stop resistant thought. And when you stop resistant thought, your vibration rises. And when your vibration rises, you're in the receiving mode. So now you're in the receiving mode. No big deal. There's not going to be writing on the wall. The sky isn't going to part. Thunderous things aren't going to come. Not that kind of magic. Just an idea of something will occur to you. Like you might just get an impulse that you want to go somewhere. Maybe to 7-Eleven to buy a lottery ticket, or to get a Slurpee. Just a feeling, and it's a strong enough thought, and it feels satisfying enough that you decide to go do it. And in that process, you meet someone and you just have a really good time, and then another, and suddenly you begin to feel, Esther will say, the magic's here. She can just feel when things are just flowing. It's almost like her feet are on the ground, and everyone that she encounters is adding something lovely to her experience. You see what we're getting at? That other day, we'll be very quick about this, she was on an airplane. She was focused upon satisfaction. She was on Delta. She was flying first class. Pretty easy to feel satisfaction. But easy to not feel satisfaction. You can find dissatisfaction everywhere you are too. She was pointed towards satisfaction. She was thinking, I'm so comfortable. And then she adjusted her seat. Oh, that's even better. And then she got out her neck pillow. Oh, I love this pillow so much. And then she thought, ooh, I'm just a tiny bit chilly, just a tiny bit. I think I'll get my blanket. Delta gave her a blanket. It was all wrapped up, all fresh and clean and newly pressed, and she took her blanket out and she kind of tucked it up around her, and then she thought, if I put my sunglasses on, I would be even more satisfied. So she put her sunglasses on, then she settled back into her seat, and she thought, And then the flight attendant tapped her on the shoulder, and he handed her a bottle of water that he had put in the microwave and warmed up for her. And he said, this might make you more comfortable. And for just a minute, Esther thought, do I look old and feeble? And then she thought, no, he's just getting in on the magic. It's like the entire universe now, everyone in her vicinity is now, those cooperative components are looking around trying to find some way of enhancing the vibration that she's got going on. And you know what? In dissatisfaction, the same thing happens. The cooperative universe looks around for more things to make you miserable. You see? So the magic is always happening. You just get to set the direction of it. And the more consciously aware you are of your own satisfaction, the more it happens, until it won't be long. And these are just words right now to you, although we know you've experienced it before. You'll feel invincible. It'll feel to you like you are the center of the universe, because you are. You are the center of the universe. You are. You are. You are the center of this vibrational reality. You are the center of this universe, where all that is non-physical is focused toward you, getting exactly as much as you can allow yourself to receive through your path of least resistance. And some of you aren't allowing all that much. Some of you aren't letting it in as well as others till you're under the influence, and then you can't even comprehend what you're letting in. Esther has just received back from the printer. It's going to be a cruise gift on the Alaskan cruise. She might send them to you. Will you remind her afterward? She might not listen back and she might not remember, because she's under this influence. It's a dash card. It lays on your dash. And you can't read it when you look at it. It looks like something you can't read. When you put it on your dashboard, it reflects onto your dash and it says, under the influence. She thought about a bumper sticker, but she thought it might bring you trouble. So the question is, what influence am I under? Am I under the influence of my source? Under the influence of my vortex? Or am I under the influence of something I've watched on television, or some movement that's happening around me? Am I under the influence of satisfying thoughts, or am I under the influence of unsatisfactory thoughts? It really is that simple. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. Good time for a segment of refreshment.
I am so grateful. I'm so very, very grateful.
We're satisfied even more.
So very, very grateful.
I'm satisfied in this moment.
So very grateful in every moment.
Yeah.
In every moment.
No, not in every moment.
Oh,
no, not in
pretty
every moment. It's
close.
okay. Not in every moment.
You're right.
Not in every moment.
Yeah, I can think of a
You got to
couple.
give yourself an opportunity to have expansion. You didn't come for every moment to be just perfect, because then there's no expansion. So I'm appreciative and thankful for the expansion too. Yeah. So
I am so grateful that you have brought me this knowledge in this lifetime.
we're happy that you met up with us, and if you weren't a vibrational match, you wouldn't have. So don't give us the credit. Take it.
I began studying. Oh, thank you. I began studying this material with my children 10 years ago, like it was the most important thing I could ever do in my life. And this week I closed on the house of our wildest dreams, beyond our wildest dreams, because, thank you.
Not beyond your wildest dreams.
It was though.
Mutual with our wildest dreams. Not even wild dreams, just natural, next logical step dreams.
I didn't dream those things. I went general, and I didn't think of those
But
things.
you see,
oh, it's so good.
you don't know what you did. You lived life and you put pieces in. And then those pieces became cooperative components to one another. And it became more than you could even comprehend until you allowed it to manifest. That's how it works.
It was so good. And I taught my children at 8 and 10 years old, and now the whole world is at their feet. They can do anything,
They're
all
invincible.
they want.
Yep. Hopefully, you will welcome any contrast that helps their expansion. And not try to hold them in moments of perfection, which is illogical.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Right, get out now. No.
Our question is, can we experience our contrast from the vortex? Because it seems like we're doing that sometimes.
The answer is yes. And no. The answer is yes, because your inner being is always doing exactly that. And we are appreciative of those words because those words have never been spoken before. Your inner being does appreciate your contrast from the vortex. The question is, how big is your gap? When you put contrast into its relativity with everything, then you are appreciating it. So step one is which means you launch a rocket and potentially, in fact, usually split yourself up a little bit. Step 2 is source receives the asking, focuses purely upon it, appreciates the contrast that gave birth to it, becomes it, and law of attraction begins to gather the cooperative components. Step 3 is, because you want to be satisfied, because it feels good to feel good, you focus as best you can in ways that do allow you to line up with it, so you have that feeling of alignment. Step 4 is you get really, really good at that. You get really, really good at allowing your vibration to consistently rise to the vibrational equivalency of what's in your vortex, which just means you're more satisfied than dissatisfied on that topic. Step 5 is what you're talking about. Step 5 is you're aware that contrast has happened, but you don't feel negative emotion about it because you understand the value of the contrast, and you're no longer using contrasting experiences to beat up on yourself and be dissatisfied with yourself, claiming bogus, flawed premises like I'm not good at this when you are, or like I'm not worthy when you are. But you know, words don't teach, and so we can say these things. In fact, we have been. We can write books about it. In fact, we have been. We can write it all down and you can read it. But until you have experienced contrast, until you have found some way of allowing your vibration consistently to rise and be in concert with what's in the vortex, which usually happens through, if it's happening consistently, through something like meditation, where you've learned a technique to quiet your mind to allow your vibration to rise. So once you have allowed your vibration to rise and you're consciously aware that you were doing just that, and then ideas occur to you and you make the connection, this idea is occurring to me because of my alignment, and then you get to follow the trail of these thoughts so that you have this first-hand, hands in the clay experience of creating your own reality. Then these are just some words that sound like somebody else has got something going on that you don't have going on, which makes you suspect they're probably faking it, or they're better at it than I am, which is not the premise that is helpful, and so forth.
It felt like that sometimes, but you instilled much confidence with your words.
This is the most simplistic of analogies, so please forgive us, or even better, don't judge us to begin with. It's like riding a bicycle. If you just watched other people ride bicycles and then you decided one day you were going to do it too, and you tipped over and skinned your knees, you could conclude that somebody told them something that you weren't told, that they had some advantage that you don't have, that they've got the magic and you don't have it, and you could be resentful of their success and your perceived failure. But all it is they got on, they skinned their knees, they found their balance because they skinned their knees. And that's what step 5 is, an appreciation of skinned knees. Because the poop to value ratio,
Exactly what I said.
Esther's been saying on a pretty regular basis, I'll do anything for clarity. I don't mind having an experience that's a little off or uncomfortable if it produces clarity, which it always does, because clarity is so delicious.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said. That's exactly what I got.
And
I got
so
some good contrast.
we appreciate you coming and reveling with us. Do you have something new you're asking, or are we just reveling together, which is a wonderful thing to do?
We are reveling together. I just thought it'd be so much fun.
We've enjoyed it immensely. Yes.